The Federal Reserve raises rates by 0.25 basis point rate hike, which is exactly what everybody has expected, which we thought was already priced into the market. But why did the SPY not rip as hard as we wanted it to? That is because the Fed says inflation has eased somewhat, but still remains elevated, and they also repeat that ongoing rate increases will be appropriate going forward. So now you still have that uncertainty in the air saying, is it time for me to dump my money back into the overall stock market, jump back into equity? What is going on, guys? Lottery Stocks here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, stay till the end of the video so you don't have to watch another video here on YouTube. We will update you on everything that there is to update you on. All I ask in return is for a like. Get this to 1,000 likes. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get into the video. So on top of that, guys, U.S. job openings rose to 11.01 million in December from 10.44 million. Now to touch on the S&P 500, the FOMC meeting came out and you saw a little bit of volatility, a quick flash crash to the downside, followed by a nice little pop, but we are not rallying as hard as I expected. However, going forward, we now have that sentiment, right? I said if we get a 0.25 basis point rate hikes, I think the SPY will actually enter back into a bull market rally, or at least temporarily fly, which is something that we should have seen theoretically. However, the Fed is still spooking everybody from jumping back into the market. They say inflation has eased, but we still have to really continue raising rates, which means that they are not going to pause going forward throughout 2023, or at least the next couple months going forward. So the S&P 500 is sitting around 405.32 right now. It has resistance at that 406.50 level, and then following that up, we're looking at 410, 412, 420, so on and so forth. However, if the SPY does start to sell off, I'm watching a break below 403. At that point, I think the SPY is going to dig for a new low, and we're not entering a bull market rally. However, if the SPY does continue to climb and does continue to look good, I think AMC has a very, very strong chance at getting this rally that everybody has been expecting. And AMC numbers have went crazy today, which we are going to touch on in a little bit. But first, taking a look at the charts. Based off of the patterns we saw back in January and June, AMC is looking dirty for a setup, which leads me to give my call out going forward into tomorrow. I think the SPY is going to rally and AMC is going to have a nasty rip. This is what you saw first. This is what you saw in the second cycle, and AMC is playing out very similar to this, which leads me to say that, the next day you're going to have another leg up. So I'm watching that $7 level for AMC. Once we break over that, I'm watching $9 to break that descending resistance for a clean break over that. The last time AMC broke the first falling resistance, you saw a 60% rip before getting rejected again, which exactly brings us to that $9 level, which leads me to say that I need a clean break over $9 to continue to think that AMC is going to rip to the upside. So that is the major level I'm watching going forward on AMC. As for GameStop, playing out very well. I expect the rest of the week to kind of be sideways trading / slightly selling off before Monday next week getting a major pop to the upside for GameStop. Now to touch on some Ortex numbers on AMC, 23.04% short interest of free float. So shorts are trying to keep this thing down. Utilization still maxed out at 100%, and this is where it gets interesting. The cost to borrow average still at 383, which is extremely high. The average is paying almost 4 times their position to borrow these shares, but the max is at 515%. That means at least one short borrowing shares is paying 5 times their position amount to just borrow these shares. Now for APE, 6.77% short interest, utilization rising up a little bit, almost at 93%, and the cost to borrow not being reported. According to Stock Tracker, no shares available to borrow on AMC. We are winning on the option chain, 20,000 calls compared to 15,000 puts. Everything's looking good across the board except the liquidity fairies. The market makers are dropping short exempts on AMC to keep it down. You've seen it time and time again, and you're seeing it right now on AMC, and you're also seeing it on GameStop as well for short exempts. According to Stock Tracker, for GameStop, 300,000 shares available to borrow at a most recent fee of 19.4%. It doesn't look like GameStop is ready to move anywhere. They have this thing held down a lot right now. For some reason, the cost to borrow isn't rising, even though there's more shares DRS. We're losing on the options chain, and the short exempts are just low, right? GameStop does not have the volume. I think GameStop's float got bought up way back by Wall Street Bets. People loaded up on it, and now it's just sitting there hanging dry. Following that up, Binance partners with Kazakhstan's largest airline, Air Astana, allowing customers to convert flight points into crypto, FedEx to fire over 10% of its management employees, and Tinder, owned by MTCH, is letting go 8% of its staff, so more cutoffs going forward following that jobs report that we just talked about. And Facebook earnings comes out tonight after hours, as well as a ton of other earnings. If you guys want to see those plays, make sure to be in Discord down below. This should be interesting to say the least. Let me know if you're playing Meta earnings in the comments. Also guys, just some extra stuff to touch on. The Adani Group stocks have lost 72 billion so far, and they also called off their 2.4 billion equity fundraising. And Amazon and Microsoft warns employees not to share sensitive data with ChatGPT, which is sketchy to say the least. Following ChatGPT, they are now going to be creating their own mobile app, and Tom Brady is finally retiring. Best wishes to Tom Brady. Shout out Tom Brady down below. Overall guys, sentiment going forward, AMC's looking nasty. We need that volume to pick up, and just take a look at SPY. Just continue to watch the S&P 500, because just coming up to 404, short sellers lost 81 billion so far. So going beyond that, shorts are definitely going to be burned, if not margin called going forward, and it could trigger something major to come on AMC and GameStop and other meme stocks like that, including Bed Bath & Beyond. Now, some disclosures. I hold my Bed Bath & Beyond calls. Again, I'm out of BTB. I added 2 AMC calls today. Those are the most recent trades that I've made. Make sure if you want to talk back and forth with me to join the Discord down below. Also, guys, if you want up to 15 free stocks, it's free money. Use my link pinned in the top comments or in the description down below. Don't sleep on it. Download Moomoo on your phone or computer. It takes 2 minutes to do so, just like signing up for Webull or any other platform like that. Except courtesy of me and Moomoo, you will get up to 15 free stocks by just making a deposit after you open an account. It can literally be a penny, so don't think you have to deposit like $100 in there. Your money's also FDIC insured, so you don't have to worry. You have more expirations when you trade options, and you can trade options, go long, go short, and have free level 2 order book data, so you can see where whales are loading up and dropping off shares, which can essentially help you trade. Also seeing how other exchanges open on there, which can also help you trade. A customizable earnings calendar and more, so make sure to use my link and go do that, guys. Also pop in the Discord. Don't sleep on that. Now, before I close the video, guys, if short sellers were smart, they would start closing certain positions. So just keep an eye on after hours for your favorite stocks, including the S&P 500, to see what is happening going forward. Also, the FOMC meeting isn't completely over just because we got that announcement today. In my opinion, it's going to sell off, and then after the meeting's done, going into after hours, going into tomorrow, you should see some shorts starting to get out of their positions, because if they don't, I think that's probably a bad decision going forward. Now, we also touched on these cycles on AMC, that every time it hits these part of the cycles, AMC usually peaks higher and higher, and we are just about to enter that zone February 6th going into March 10th, which is the same exact time frame leading up into that meeting. And also, if Adam Aaron has a plan that will crush short sellers, then they would also be smart to get out here as well. Now, just a quick refreshment for you guys. The on balance volume shows AMC's price is still sitting around $28. This is not a real price. These are all synthetic shares. They dropped it, and you know all of this data going forward. Overall, there's absolutely nothing to be upset about. I would relax, enjoy the rest of the night, and just get ready to get your paycheck, because in my opinion, I'm just sitting back, relaxing. I added on to my calls, and I'm excited going forward, to say the least, because this buy and hold game, the same reminder we got way back 2 years ago, is that we don't have to do anything. We just sit back, relax, we're not paying a fee, and we're just waiting. We're waiting. Not only that, but they're paying so much to borrow the stock now, and overall, we have all of the data lined up to have a major short squeeze going forward like we did back in January and June. And essentially, if the market does rally, I think shorts are absolutely done. So that is my take going into tomorrow. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.